Hey everybody, it's me, Stuart. Today we're going to read a story called The Frog Prince. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Once there was a pretty little princess named Poppy, and she was furious. "I won't marry Prince Humperdinck, Daddy," she said. "He's smelly, smug, and slimier than a frog. And he has such big teeth." "You don't have to marry him until you're grown up," said her mother. "I never want to marry him," said Poppy. "I'd rather eat my toenails." Ew. "That's enough," said the king. "Stop your wailing. Prince Humperdinck is coming to dinner tonight, and you must be polite to him. He's a very nice boy, and he is your future husband after all." "I'll find another prince to marry," Poppy declared. "You can have until tomorrow morning," said the king, "but you'll never find a prince in that time." "Just you wait," said Poppy. She picked up her golden ball and stomped into the garden. Princess Poppy ran down the path to the palace pond, throwing and catching her ball as she went. There must be another prince somewhere, she thought. She was so cross, she didn't see the wobbly stone. She wibbled and wobbled and fell face first, splat, into the pond. Her beautiful golden ball flew out of her hands. With a loud splash, it disappeared into the deep, dark water. "Oh no," Poppy groaned. She looked into the pond, hoping to see her ball. Instead, she came face to face with a pair of big, bulging eyes. "Urgh!" Poppy cried. "A frog!" The frog cleared his throat. "Princess Poppy," he croaked, "let me help you." Poppy stared in surprise. "I've never met a talking frog before," she said. "Still, I don't see how you can help me." "I can fetch your ball for you," said the frog. "Oh," said Poppy, "thank you. But you must promise me something first," he added. "Anything," agreed Poppy. "Promise you'll let me live in your palace. I want to eat from your plate, drink from your glass, and sleep on your silken pillow." "In your dreams," thought Poppy, but out loud she said, "I promise." The frog plunged into the pond. Poppy waited. Suddenly, deep under the water, she saw a glimmer of gold. The frog rose out of the pond, holding the golden ball. Hooray! Poppy snatched it up and raced back to the palace. "Hey," the frog called after her, "what about your promise?" But Poppy didn't reply. "Wait for me," the frog says. The frog hopped as fast as he could after Poppy. When he finally hopped up to the palace door, Poppy slammed it in his face. Princess Poppy arrived at the palace just in time for supper. She had to sit next to Prince Humperdinck, who smelled of cabbage. Ew. Suddenly, they heard a tap at the door. "Who was that?" said the king. "No one," Poppy said quickly. "That's funny," said Prince Humperdinck. "I was sure I heard someone knocking." The tapping came again. "Poppy, I really do think someone's there," said the king. "I'll ask the footman to look." "No, Daddy, don't," cried Poppy. "It's only a frog. He rescued my golden ball from the pond, and I sort of said he could stay with us." "Then you must keep your word," bellowed the king. "Let him in." "But he's wet and warty," said Poppy. "Poppy," said her father furiously, "let that frog in right now." As soon as Poppy opened the door, the frog shot inside. He followed her back to her chair. Poppy could hear his wet feet going splat, splat, splat on the floor behind her. "Oh dear," said Prince Humperdinck. "Suddenly, I'm not very hungry." "I'm starving," said the frog. "What's the first course?" "Cold watercress soup," said the king. "Help yourself." The frog dived into Poppy's bowl. Delicious. "What's next?" he asked the maid. The maid began nervously. "Come on," said the king. "You must know what's for supper." "Well, your highness," the maid went on, "I'm afraid it's frog's legs." The frog gulped. "I think I might skip this course," he said weakly. Poppy didn't usually like frog legs, but that night she had seconds, and thirds, and fourths. "Isn't it time for bed, princess?" said the frog eventually. "Oh no," cried Poppy. You're not coming anywhere near my bedroom, but you promised, said the frog. You can carry me on a cushion, says the frog. Poppy looked pleadingly at her father. Come on, dear, said the queen. Don't make Poppy touch that green, warty, slimy. Princesses don't break promises, interrupted the king sternly. Poppy took a deep breath. Then she reached out and picked up the frog by one foot. She touched him, moaned Prince Humperdinck, and fainted. Poppy dropped the frog in the darkest, most distant corner of her room and climbed into bed. But Poppy, said the frog, you promised I could sleep on your pillow. I've had enough, snapped Poppy. You're the meanest, ugliest, most horrible frog I've ever met. What's more, she added, if you mention my promise one more time, I'll throw you out of the window. No, you won't, said the frog. You wouldn't dare. I do dare, said Poppy. In a fury, she strode over to the frog, picked him up, and threw him out of her window. Oh no. There was a long silence, followed by a loud splat. Poppy suddenly realized what she'd done. She was horrified. Frog, please say something. I hope I haven't killed him, she thought. She raced down the stairs as fast as her legs could carry her. Outside, the frog lay sprawled on the palace lawn. Poppy picked him up as gently as she could. Are you all right? She whispered. Yes, croaked the frog, carefully feeling his head. I didn't mean to hurt you, said Poppy. I'm so sorry. And she bent down and kissed him. There was a crash of thunder and a shower of sparks. The frog vanished. In his place stood a handsome young prince. At last, shouted the prince, I'm human again. No more slimy skin, no more webbed feet, no more flies. One by one, the palace windows flew open and everyone looked out. What's going on? Yelled the king. I'm coming down. What happened to you? Poppy asked the prince. A wicked witch cast a spell on me, he said. I could only become human again if a princess kissed me. So I saved you? Said Poppy proudly. Well, yes, said the prince, but you did throw me out of the window first. Still, said Poppy, not many princesses would kiss a frog. That's true. How can I thank you? Said the prince. Well, you could marry me, replied Poppy. Excuse me, said Prince Humperdinck, but Poppy is going to marry me. No, I'm not, said Poppy. It hasn't been arranged yet. And Daddy, you did say I could find my own prince. That's true, said the king. In that case, said the prince, getting down on one knee, if you promise not to throw me out of the window again. If you promise not to throw me out of the window again, I promise, said Poppy. Princess Poppy, will you marry me? I will, said Poppy. And she did. The end. Wow, that was an interesting story. After she kissed him, it turned into a prince. Wow. Alright, well thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. See ya!